It's all about solving the problems by step and having fun while doing it.
A square, B square, A plus B whole square. Tom and Jerry യുദ്ധത്തിൽ അനന്തനായ don't care.
ഞാൻ ഗ്രൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് പോവാ.
So, Matt. So, Kathy, what do you think now? I never knew math could be this fun. I feel that I can tackle any math challenge now. So, just remember, math is not just any numbers and formulas. It's thinking out of the box.
Bebop, add the fun and subtract the stress. I'm multiplying the knowledge. Man, it is not just for bodies, it's for life.
And remember, young mathematicians, math is everywhere. In your sports, your music, and food you even eat. Don't be afraid of numbers. Don't fear, our VSS maths teachers are here. Any problem will be solved.
Bebop. Hello party people, let's watch a fun. Are you ready? Yeah! Are you ready? Yeah! Okay. Area of a circle, pi r square forms a circle. Clap. Second magic. Area of a square, SCDS, forms a square. Clap. Area of a rectangle, A into B, forms a rectangle. Clap.
This is a secret of the used car market. Admit.
Well, party people, I request all of you to be in statue. Wow, wasn't that a wonderful performance by our cadets? I am Sri Kumari Shine and I love mathematics. So let me explain the key points of this skill. Math doesn't have to be boring. It's like solving a puzzle or playing a game. Math is used in everyday life, such as cooking, constructing buildings, architecture, etc. A fun and intriguing way to math can make it less intimidating. So in my point of view, this kit combines humor, movement, and a fun entertaining way to educate and teach us on Maths Day. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Okay.
അവളുടെ പൊടിയിട്ട്
ഞാൻ ഗ്രൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് പോവാം.
ടോം ആൻഡ് ജെറി യുദ്ധത്തിൽ
ഞാൻ ഗ്രൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് പോവാം.
Next, here comes cadet S. Samir Farhan of grade 9E to give a splendid speech on one of the prodigies of mathematics, K. Srinivasa Ramanujan.
Jathan, and a very pleasant morning to respected principals, honorable dean, dean sir, esteemed vice principal sir, teachers, coordinators, PETs, and all my dear cadets of Veritas Sainik School. I am N.M. Samir Farhan of class 9E of Veritas Sainik School. Today, on this special occasion of Mathematics Day, I have the privilege of sharing the story of a man who made numbers his best friends. And not just any numbers, but the type of numbers that make your head spin and your calculator give up. I am talking about none other than the legendary Srinivasa Ramanujan. Now, before we dive into this genius's brain, let me ask you this. How many of you have ever looked at a math problem and thought, why am I even doing this? I'd be rather else right now, like on a beach. I am betting many of you have risen your hands, but not Ramanujan. While we are still busy trying to figure out the value of x, Ramanujan was busy making math his superpower. In fact, he didn't just solve math problems, he created new ones so complicated that even the greatest minds in the world couldn't believe. So if you think math is a mystery, Ramanujan was the detective and his math intuition was his magnifying glass. Ready to know more about this mathematician? Let's go. The early days, the kid who was obsessed with numbers. Ramanujan's story started in the small town of Port, Tamil Nadu in 1887. The same decade when Dalton proposed the atomic theory. Now picture this. When you were 10 years old, were you hanging out, playing cricket or just maybe trying to get through your homework? On the other hand, Ramanujan was solving trigonometric equations. Yeah, you heard it right. At the age of 10, while most of us were probably trying to figure out how we could eat an ice cream without letting our mama know, Ramanujan was busy solving math problems that could make your math teacher's jaw drop. He didn't have textbooks or fancy calculators. He didn't even have a math tutor. Instead, he had something way more powerful, instincts. He would look at numbers and somehow they would whisper their secrets to him. Sounds like something out of a superhero movie, right? Maybe his ability was to make math look cool. Now here comes the fun part. Ramanujan didn't wait anyone to notice him. At 1913, at the age of 26, he sent a letter to G.H. Hardy, one of the most famous mathematicians in England, saying, hey, check out these crazy formulas I have discovered. These are like nothing you have ever seen before. Imagine this. You are sitting in your office and you get a letter saying, I've got some world-changing formulas. What would you do? Maybe laugh it off? But Hardy didn't do it. He took that serious, well, sort of. Looked at the formulas and thought, wait a minute, this kid might be actually on to something. Ramanujan's math magic. I'm sure most of us would never even dream of sending a letter to a world-renowned expert about our math ideas, let alone solving equations in a way no one else has ever thought of. But that's exactly what Ramanujan did. And guess what? Hardy invited him to Cambridge University, where they both started working together and Ramanujan's genius brain took flight. Ramanujan's math magic, his equations and formulas. So let's get into the juicy stuff. Ramanujan's equations. I mean, this is where he really started to shine. Are you ready for some mind-blowing math? Here are some of his few famous formulas. These are the kind of formulas that make you say, wait, how did he even come up with that? Ramanujan's infinite series for pi. So let us start with Ramanujan's most famous contribution, a series to calculate pi. Now, we all know that pi is equal to 3.14159285 blah blah blah. But Ramanujan came up with one of that fastest ways to calculate pi to millions of decimal places, and guess what? His formulas is still used by mathematicians today. This formula is so effective that it gets closer to the true value of pi. This formula is a part of the infinite series that rapidly converge and even though it looks complicated, you can calculate pi to millions of decimal places in just a few terms. His contributions to pi have changed how we approach this fundamental constant in mathematics. Who thinks they could use this series to calculate pi to even 10 decimal places? Yeah, me neither. But Ramanujan did, and that's why he is the man magician. Ramanujan's partition function. Now let us talk about partitions. No, not the type of partitions that we use at cakes at parties, but the type of partitions that numbers can be divided. Ramanujan came up with a function called the partition functions, which counts how many ways you can break a number into sums, like 4 equals 4, 3 plus 1, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 1. And he didn't stop there. He discovered deep formulas for partition numbers that changed number theory forever. One of his most famous results was also calculated by Hardy, and this result was groundbreaking, and mathematicians are still trying to generalize these congruencies for other numbers. Ramanujan's tau function. Another one of Ramanujan's amazing discoveries is the tau function, a function used in modular forms which are vital in areas like quantum physics and number theory. His tau function had a special property that led to the discovery in number theory and mathematical physics. This function has many important applications in number theory, especially related to the distribution of primes. How many of you would like to work with quantum physics and number theory one day and still struggling to think how to divide evenly by 3? Ramanujan's 24 unsolved problems. While Ramanujan left behind a wealth of theorems and formulas in his notebooks, there are still 24 problems from his notebooks that continue to baffle mathematics. These unsolved problems are still actively researched today. Here's a detailed look at some of his most famous ones. Mock theta function. Ramanujan introduced the concept of mock theta functions, which are deeply related to modular forms and Q series. These functions have mysterious properties, and their understanding remains a challenge for modern mathematics. Ramanujan's partition congruencies. Ramanujan discovered several remarkable congruencies for partition numbers. For example, he showed that these results were groundbreaking, but mathematicians are still trying to prove more general forms of these congruencies. One of the most famous numbers by which we are all profound of, the Ramanujan-Hardy number 1729. We all know that it was a taxi number which Hardy came to India to visit Ramanujan bedridden. But Ramanujan's partition function formula was groundbreaking. The exact generalization of the Ramanujan-Hardy formula for the partition function is still not fully proven. Ramanujan's prime generating formula. Ramanujan discovered 7 numbers, but his exact prime generating formula remains a deep subject of deep investigation. It's believed that his formulas hold deeper truths about distribution of prime numbers, but no one else has been ever fully able to prove them. The Riemann hypothesis. While not directly related to Ramanujan's own conjectures, his works on the zeta function has inspired many ideas connected to the Riemann hypothesis. One of the most famous unsolved problems in mathematics. This conjecture related to the distribution of prime numbers remains a mystery to this day. Ramanujan's conjectures on modular forms. Many of Ramanujan's ideas on modular forms, especially those related to Q series, remain unsolved. His conjectures on modular properties of certain functions are still a deep area of research. Conclusion. The legacy of Ramanujan. So, can we learn from this Ramanujan story? First off, never underestimate the power of passion. He didn't have fancy degrees. Let me say he didn't even graduate. He didn't study best schools, but he had an intense love for numbers. Second, trust your instincts. Ramanujan didn't just follow textbooks, he trusted his intuition and it led him to groundbreaking discoveries. And lastly, math is awesome. Sure, it might not be the same for everyone, but who knows, maybe you will be the next Ramanujan. Maybe one day you will even discover a math that no one else has ever seen. Maybe you will even end making history. So the next time you are sitting with your math homework, remember, you could be the next Ramanujan, the mathematician who sees equations in his dreams. Thank you, Jai Hind.
Now, I invite the mathematics facilitator Shivaganesh sir to speak on usage of mathematics in our daily life.
Jai Hind, respected dignitaries, teachers, and my dear students. Today we are celebrating Mathematics Day. So on this occasion, I would like to share my thoughts on the important topic, mathematical skills are way of life. Before that, I would like to ask a question to you. How many of you interested in mathematics? Okay, down your hands. How many of you are afraid of mathematics? Heartfully. So many are there. Okay. So can anyone tell me what is the basic of math? What? Numbers? Numbers. Tables. Next. Formulas. Okay. Listen. So always we think that mathematics is a subject which is related to problems, and every time we feel that math is a problematic. Is that correct? Okay. So actually the basic for math is addition and subtraction. So at first the mathematics is started in words only. The sharing of knowledge of mathematics is done in words. There is a listener and there will be a speaker. The listener will always takes his knowledge from the speaker. And we often to think that mathematics is just numbers, formulas and equations we learn in classrooms. But in reality, math is more than that. It is a way of understanding and solving problems in life. Mathematics teaches us logic, order, reasoning. Just like solving math problems step by step, life also requires us to think clearly and make decisions wisely. For example, planning your day. So what is your wake-up time? So, wait. So, in our school, the wake-up time is 5 o'clock. So, we will wake by 5 o'clock and have our works, and we have our snacks, and after by 8:30 we have the prayer, speeches, and our regular classes up to 4:30. Up to 4:20. So after from 5:30 to 7:30 we have normal study hours, and again 7:30 to 8:30 we have study hours. So we will divide our day by using that time. So time is also mathematics or not? So we can use the time to separate our timings into equal parts and give importance to whatever the things important in our life. Okay? Next is money. Money is more important in our life or not? Yes. So to save the money also mathematics is needed. and creating a budget requires math skills. So if you have a amount of 100 rupees, so what you will do? First snacks. So first snacks. So we will divide for snacks a amount of 50 rupees and keep another 50 in savings. And we will think for 50 rupees what we have to take. So 10 rupees Oyster, 10 rupees Dairy Milk, and 10 rupees chips, and 10 rupees samosa or something. So that 50 rupees is shared into equal parts. In that also we want mathematics. Or if you got a sweet and you have 4 friends, you have to share into equal parts. Then what we have to do? We have to cut that sweet into 4 parts. By the help of mathematics or mathematics. By using weights or its length and breadth. Next. Even simple tasks like dividing food, measuring ingredients for cooking, or decide how much fuel is needed to your bike involve mathematics. So how many of your friends are decided to go to a tour? After completing your education, your friends are planning now. So we have to go some places. We need such amount of money. How many of you are planned? Okay. So for that, from today onwards or yesterday onwards, you started saving money now. And you discuss about that thing, how much money we needed. And I save 10,000 rupees within these 10 years. You save 20,000 or 10,000. We will need that money for bike fuel, for food. Is it correct? This discussion is mostly goes in between boys only, mostly. And beyond daily tasks, maths helps us to develop important skills like patience, accuracy, and critical thinking and creative thinking. It teaches us every problem has a solution if we approach the step-by-step process to just like in our life. So to solve a problem, what we needed? Patience. What? Patience.